Hi, I'm Darryn Farrugia and welcome. So in a previous video I mentioned that about 30 years ago I had some lessons with the great Joe Morello. In one of those lessons he taught me a couple of really great exercises that uses patterns from the book Stick Control by George Lawrence Stone. Now, if you don't know this book, this is a really important book. Just about every drummer I know has a copy of this book, and it's just basically full of sticking patterns with different subdivisions, some press roll studies, open roll studies, etc., etc. So it's one of those classic, timeless technique books. So one of the exercises that Joe taught me was an exercise that he calls 4-bar vamps. So what is a 4-bar vamp? In this context, a 4-bar vamp is going to be 4 bars of eighth notes played with one hand. So this is how it's going to work in relation to the sticking patterns in the stick control book. Firstly, we're only going to use the first 3 pages of stick control for this particular exercise. Those pages are page 5, 6 and 7. On those pages we have a bunch of sticking patterns played as eighth notes, and it starts with a single stroke roll starting with the right hand, then followed up by a single stroke roll starting with the left hand, then a double stroke roll starting with the right hand, etc., etc. So there's 3 pages, 2 columns on each page of all of these sticking patterns. Really great patterns. So the way this exercise was taught to me was to play each stick control pattern for a total of 4 bars, followed by 4 bars of whichever hand played the last stroke. So for example, the first pattern on page 5 of stick control is a single stroke roll starting with the right hand. That pattern will finish with the left hand. So we have 4 bars of singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next pattern is a single stroke roll starting with the left hand, which means that the last stroke we play would be the right hand, which means that the 4-bar vamp will be played with the right hand. So here's an example of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Right hand vamp. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of the changes that I made was to play all of the vamps with just the left hand. I'm a right-handed drummer, so I like to exercise the weaker hand. So all of those vamps, for me, left hand. In this example, I'm going to play the first 5 patterns. Single stroke roll, starting with the right hand. Single stroke roll, starting with the left hand. Double stroke roll, starting with the right hand. Double stroke roll, starting with the left hand. And then finally, a paradiddle. These are just the first 5 patterns in that first column on page 5. In between those will be 4-bar vamps played with just the left hand. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doubles. This is pattern 3. 4-bar vamp. 3, 4. Doubles starting with the left hand, pattern 4. Vamp. 2, 3, 4. Paradiddle. This is pattern 5. Vamp. 2, 3, 4. So that's an example using the first 5 patterns. What I suggest you do is either play 1 column a day, or you can play an entire page a day. If you've got more time, you can play all 3 pages at once if you want a complete workout, and you can always flip that page over with your right hand while you're vamping with the left hand, or vice versa if you're left-handed. So if you like this video, hit the like button, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. I'm uploading content every week, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I've uploaded a video. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you another adaptation of this exercise. So until then, happy practicing, and I'll see you next week. Bye. So, God, it's noisy here.